an estimate of the vastness of the Hindu scriptures, an analysis. It is well known that Hindu scriptures, the embodiment of Vedic knowledge, are vast and extensive. Hinduism is not based around a single book. It can be said that the 4 primary Vedas, which I want to focus most upon, are the base, but in essence the term Veda is a word used to denote knowledge. It is the science of the self and the supreme. The knowledge of the sciences is not limited to one book, and so is the case with Hinduism. The Sanskrit word Veda, which means knowledge or wisdom, is resultant of the root word Vid, which means to know. But the word Veda as a common noun means knowledge and can be used to refer to fields unrelated to religion or philosophy, such as Aasheervada, which is the science of medicine, or Sasyaveda, the science of agriculture. Vedic texts are typically seen to revolve around many dimensions or layers of reading, namely the physical or the transliteral layer, the subtle layer, and finally the supramental dimension. This allows for many levels of understanding as well, and leading to the fact that the full truth of the text is only revealed in increments that are parallel to the spiritual advancement of the readers. The Vedas are believed to have been handed down since time immemorial, and allude to events that are more than 10,000 years ago. The earlier dates for composition of the oldest Vedas are suggested around 7000 BCE, with some estimates placing the dates at a few millennia later. But when Hindu scholars say that the Vedas are eternal, what they imply is not the age of the actual book containing the scriptures, but the knowledge of a cycle of creation. From the unmanifest, this knowledge becomes manifest. Now, before I move on, I would like to quote Swami Vivekananda in a speech he delivered in San Francisco. He says, "If the Christian stands up and says, 'My religion is a historical religion, and therefore yours is wrong, and ours is true,' the Mimamsaka, or the Orthodox Brahmin, replies, 'Yours being historical, you confess that a man invented it 1900 years ago. That which is true must be infinite and eternal. That is one test of truth. It never decays. It is always the same. You confess that religion was created by such and such a man. The Vedas were not, by no prophets or anything. Only infinite words, infinite by their very nature, from which the whole universe comes and goes.'" Hindu scriptures are broadly divided into 2 main categories, Shruti and Smriti. Shruti in Sanskrit means that which is heard, and refers to the body of the most authoritative, ancient religious texts in the central canon of Hinduism. It includes the 4 Vedas and its 4 types of embedded texts, the Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. Smriti, literally that which is remembered, is a body of Hindu text usually attributed to an author, traditionally written down but constantly revised. Here's a table which shows a contrast between Shruti and Smriti. Now, there are 4 extensions of the Vedas, as you can say: the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, the Samhitas, and the Upanishads. The Brahmanas is the prose rendering of highly intellectual, hair-splitting technical interpretation of these revelations describing the sacrificial rites, precepts, and religious duties. The Brahmanas contain the ritualistic aspect of the truth, the priestly interpretation of one reality in terms of highly complex, technical, and precise ritualistic exercise. The Aranyaka are forest treatises which supplant external rituals by internal meditation. The Aranyakas are essentially the inward turning of the mind in meditation. It is a retreat from the external to the internal, as symbolized by withdrawal into the forest, renouncing the world and worldliness. The Upanishads that make up Vedanta are the ultimate flowering essence of the Vedas. It represents the Gnana-Kanda portion of the Vedas and are the philosophical meditations of the rishis on some of the profound problems which have engaged mankind in search of its relationship with the divine. And finally, the Samhitas. Samhitas is the most ancient layer of text in the primary Vedas, consisting of mantras, hymns, prayers, litanies, and benedictions. Originally, there were 1,180 Upanishads, but time took its toll out of all these but 108 of these. In my paper, I've listed them out too. Now, a number of versions or recensions. Between the 4 primary Vedas, many recensions or shakas exist. Between the 4 Vedas, a total of 1,133, and some estimate to 1,180 recensions were written, and there's a corresponding number of embedded texts too. We all know the Ramayana, but do we know that there are 300 versions, each with varied plot twists and thematic adaptations? Now, since Vedas were passed down orally from one generation to another, and were not always written down, various recensions of Vedas were also lost when scholars were killed en masse by scholars. For example, the Nalanda University. The Nalanda University started in 5th century. At its peak, Nalanda had 10,000 students, 2,000 teachers, 9 million manuscripts, and 3 multi-storied buildings. Nalanda University was ransacked by the Muslim invader Bakhtiyar Khilji in 1193 CE. The library itself burned for 3 months. So overall, it can be said that 98% of the 4 main Vedas have been lost. Now, in my paper, I have listed out many of these other texts, but due to constraint of time, I'll skip over these. Now, this paper will not be complete without comparing it to the amount of religious texts other religions have. I compared it to 2 other main religions, Christianity and Islam. Christianity has 1 book, the Bible, and it's around 1,200 pages, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and some other works. Islamic literature has the 1 book, again, the Quran, and some other minor books too. Now, when the total amount of Hinduism's religious books seems to outshadow the amount other religions have. Part of this has to do with the 10,000-year history of Hinduism, and a lot of it has to do with the development of knowledge in parallel across the Indian subcontinent by many rishis. In contrast, other religions have limited growth during the life of 1 founder or 1 prophet. That is evident with the limited amount of religious scriptures that other major religions have. When I started this paper, I hoped to get some quantification of the number of verses and words contained in Hindu scriptures as compared to those of other religions. Just listing out all the various Vedic books took so much effort that quantifying all the books was not feasible in the scope of this paper. The existing books on the Vedas is an immense amount of literature, as can be seen from the list presented earlier. Besides the books themselves, there are multiple levels to understand the Vedas, the literal level of interpretation, and the multiple axiological levels of interpretation too. If one takes the number of lost books and permutations and combinations of the vast number of recensions of the Vedas and the various levels of meaning, the overall amount of knowledge contained in the Vedas and Hindu scriptures in general was gigantic at one time, and is still very immense today. I'd like to end with a simple shloka. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That is complete. This is complete. From completeness comes completeness. If completeness is taken away from completeness, only completeness remains. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
It's again a very vast subject. Only one thing, did you say the date of Vedas 7000 BC?
Yeah.
From where you get this? Because it's, how do you measure the date of the Vedas in 7000 BC? Because our Vedas have been transmitted from generation to generation without written, as you said, so we cannot date it as it is. But the earliest date available is Vaishali's manuscript found in Takshashila, now in Pakistan. Now it is in Oxford University. They dated the 2nd century AD. That is the earliest reference to Vedas, the mentioning of the Vedas. But 7000 BC, you have any evidence? I am very happy to know from you.
It's mostly mentioning events that occurred at that time. For example, I've heard that Aasheervada, when he's mentioning his birth, he also mentions when Kali Yuga started. And so these events in the Vedas or in the Puranas, the Kavya text, allude to events that occurred in the yugas before, and therefore the dating could be approximated. And also I mentioned that when you talk, Vedic knowledge is not just, one date by when somebody wrote it down, but it's a knowledge itself which is eternal.
Oh, that means you are referring to
the events of the Vedas.
Based on the Vedas, you are correlating with the dating of the Vedas. Okay, thank you.
I have a question for you. 2 questions. One is about the dates. What, in your view, is the importance of the date of anything?
I think,
suppose I would say that the Bhagavad Gita will be written next year?
I really
Would it reduce its value? I'm just asking.
No, I really think that date or time is not really any importance at all, but more about the knowledge it contains, which gives it the most importance. And so even if the Bhagavad Gita was to be written next year, if it had that knowledge, the essence that it needs, then I would consider it of full importance.
Thank you very much.
Pranav, I want to congratulate you again. It's a
Thank
very
you.
wide and vast subject, and you have covered it in a very short span of time. So, what do you think you learned from going through this research and exercise?
Now, as a youth, I don't think before I started this paper, I could fully appreciate the amount of knowledge that our religion has. And I think even today, a lot of people don't. That this knowledge is not limited to just, say, like the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, not just the Vedas. There's so much more, and that there's so many levels of interpretation that, like, I believe that even in 10 lifetimes, I could not accomplish, I could not get that knowledge. Yeah, I think as I grow up, I will try, to learn the Vedas, to learn what it means and what these books contain. Thank you.